worked as Global Marketing Director for Ovid Technologies, an international scientific and medical online database, and was Chief Operating Officer for Russ Candy Bears, a licensee of Russ Berry Plush Toys. Her strong background working for these companies contributed to her success as a business owner. After 25 years in the corporate world, Holly became an entrepreneur and owner of Minutemen Press in Newark. She purchased a business that was suffering significant losses and made it into a profitable enterprise in just 2 years. Throughout her ownership of Minutemen Press of Newark, she achieved year-over-year sales growth, even through economic downturns. She became a trusted resource to well-known large entities such as New Jersey Transit, Rutgers, NJIT, and PSE&G, to name a few. And with that, I'm pleased to hand this over to Miss Holly Kaplansky.
All righty, thank you, Carrie. I really appreciate that. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, let's see. I just want to let's try this one. There we go. So as Carrie already said, I spent over 25 years in corporate America, then another 15 years owning my own business. I took it from a loss when I bought it, which I didn't realize was happening when I bought it. And I turned it profitable and kept it going for 15 years and just sold it last November. It's a printing business, another Minuteman Press. It's a great franchise. Hey, Bavona. Shout out. So what I want to do here is I want to share some of the things that I've learned, some of my tips, some of my helpful hints, what you should do. And I'm also going to share with you something that people think is an oxymoron. That would be an easy marketing plan. So let's go for it. Okay, so like it or not, it's all about marketing. When I bought my business, I really didn't know that it was going to be a sales and marketing. I thought, oh, I'm going to run a business now. But in fact, it's always going to be about marketing. So let's talk about the definition of marketing for just a minute. Marketing is the action or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. Okay? So it's the act of promoting and selling your products and services. Without marketing, you cannot get your business out there. Nobody will know you're there. Marketing, selling, that's the process of letting people know about your business. Without it, you're nowhere. There is a difference between marketing and sales. I like to say that marketing is about talking to a lot of people at the same time, and sales is more one-on-one. But they really support each other. You really need marketing to support your sales efforts. It's so much easier to go out there and sell when people know who you are, they've heard about you, they know your company, maybe you have a little bit of a reputation. So the two really are important and support each other. And this is a concept I'm going to talk about a couple of times in this presentation. You need to focus on the customer, not yourself. Focus on the customer, right? I can't tell you how many times somebody tried to sell me something, and we sit down over a cup of coffee and I hear all about them. For half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, it's all about them. I'm yawning, I'm not paying any attention, I'm thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner. That's really not the right way to approach it. Talk to your customer, find out about them. They should do 90% of the talking in a sales meeting. So we'll talk a little bit about branding. People often don't understand what branding is. Branding is all about defining your business, what it is and why it's different, not just how it looks. People often think that it's the Nike swoosh is your brand or it's the color is your brand. That's a part of it, but it's not the whole thing. Really, you need to think about what you want your business to be and then stick to it. It's not just how it looks. One way to figure that out is to develop a unique sales proposition, USP. What is different about you? What are you doing in your business that is different from everybody else out there? That sounds like it's hard to do, but there's a role of market research that helps you with that. Now people say, oh, market research, oh, well, I don't know how to do that, but it's really pretty easy. All you need to do is talk to other people. Talk to your customers, talk to your clients, talk to your friends, talk to your Najabo associates, talk to other people, see what they say. What do they like about you? Why are they doing business with you, not somebody else? You can get tremendous amount of information just by talking to people. And it's fun, and it also builds the relationship, which is really important, okay? So you need to figure out what your business is going to be all about and how it's different from everybody else. Shouldn't really be hard, should be fun. Now, branding must be consistent to be effective. The Nike swoosh is always the Nike swoosh. It doesn't look different. They don't turn it upside down. They don't move it to the right. They don't move it to the left. It's the swoosh. You know it's Nike the minute you see it. Coca-Cola spends a fortune to make sure that their red is exactly the Coca-Cola red. They use a PMS color, and they send people to monitor the printing just to make sure everything is the right red. They're consistent with their branding. They don't change it to blue. Although at one point they did go away from Classic Coke, and that was quite a debacle. Took them years to get out from underneath that. So it's all about consistency. One of my customers was Rutgers when I was a printer, and they have a Rutgers red. It's a very specific red. And every now and then, one of the professors or an assistant would come to me and say, you know, can you make my business card blue instead of red? And the answer to that is no, I can't. Rutgers has a 95-page policy booklet of how to keep the brand integrity. And they do it because they need to, they have to, they want to be consistent. Big companies all do that. We as small companies should do that too. Okay, so branding. Go a little further about branding, right? There are 3 elements of branding, just 3, nothing else. These are the 3 you need to think about, okay? You can have 2 of them, but not all 3. If you try to do all 3 of these, you will go out of business. So pick 1 or 2. So let's talk about them. Number 1, we have quality. Some examples of quality brands are Mercedes, Apple. How many people buy Apple because it's such great quality, right? I have Dell computers here with a question mark, right? Dell computers used to be all about quality, but now I'm not so sure. Are they cheap? Are they expensive? Are they quality? Who knows? They need to do some branding work. Second element is going to be price. Some people promote their business based on price. Hyundai is a good example of that. Great car, it'll go 200,000 miles. You may never need to get it fixed, but it's a no-frills car. They promote on price. You know you're going to get good value, but it's going to be at a lower price. Marshalls, I can't go into Marshalls. I can't do it. Everything's all over the place. The racks are everywhere. I can't find my size. I don't know what color. I don't even know what I'm looking at. But you know, they line up to get in because it's all about the price. If you care about the price, you're going to go to Marshalls. Vistaprint, that's a good one for me as a printer. Very, very, very inexpensive. Absolutely. Go online, order your business card, you get flyers, you get whatever you want. Customers would often come to me and say, yeah, but look at the price that Vistaprint quoted. I'd say, great, go to Vistaprint. Lavani, you taking notes here? Go to Vistaprint. I'm happy for that. Enjoy. They would go. What they get was wrong. It wasn't the right paper. It wasn't the right colors. There was no one to talk to on the phone. They hated it. And eventually they would come back to me, right? So they were all about price. These are 3 examples of price. In my business, I never positioned myself on price because it wasn't what I was about. I was about quality and I was about service, not price. So let's talk about service. Nordstrom, top quality service. You can bring stuff back to them years later and they'll take the return back, no questions asked. Mercedes, super high quality. Notice they're under quality as well. They're doing 2, not 3, but you're not going to go into Mercedes and expect to get a cheap car. You're going to get top quality, you're going to get great service, but it's not going to be cheap. It comes with a price. Amazon. Amazon is all about service. They built this enormous company on service. You're going to get it the next day. They don't even build the products. They're not their products, somebody else's products, but they get them to you next day. All about service. Returns are easy. They're truly focused on the customer. So these are 3 examples of brand positioning. You can pick 1, you can pick 2. Don't try to do all 3. It's not going to be a pretty picture. Oh, there it is. Now, we have what I like to call a marketing toolbox. There's lots of tools in the toolbox. There's websites, there's social media, there's email, there's direct mail, there's PR, there's telemarketing and cold calling, there's advertising, there's trade shows and events, guerrilla marketing, and networking in bold, right? There's all these tools, and these are only some of them. Well, I'm going to focus on just a few for you. Okay, the first one, oh, there's lots of tools. We're going to pick a few. Bear in mind that you can't do everything. You can't do everything in your business. You need to get help, right? And help can come in a lot of different forms. When I had my marketing business, my printing business, I actually had somebody that I would call to help me with the marketing because I couldn't do it all. I knew a lot about marketing, but I just didn't have the time. So I got somebody in to help me. I want to talk about the importance of a database. Many of the tools you're going to use need a database. You have to build a database. Now, database is a kind of scary word, but it's really not a scary thing. It's easy to build a database. You should have a database, and it can be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet, okay? It can be a Word doc. It can be whatever you want, but you should keep track of who your customers are and who your prospects are because you market to them differently. It's just a list of everybody. If you want to do an email campaign, your emails are right there. If you want to send them a little note or letter or direct mail campaign, the addresses are right there. If you want to call them up, the phone's right there. You've got to have a database. And keep working it. Try different things. As you keep working your marketing tools, some may work, some may not, but you have to try it to see if it's going to work for you. Try lots of different things, not all at once. Okay. Okay. Oops. There we go. All right. The first tool I'm going to talk about, and maybe one of the most important, is your website. You have to have a website. People are going to go to your website to see if you're legit. If you don't have a website, I don't know about you, but if I'm looking for somebody, I go to their website. I read about them. I see what they're about. If they don't have a website, I sort of wonder, like, who are these people, right? You really have to have a website. And you only need 3 pages. 3 pages. That's all you have to have. You can have a lot more, but you really need 3 pages. Your first page is going to be your home page. And like I said before, it's not about you. Your home page should be about your benefits that you give to your customers, what's in it for them, with what's in it for them. Okay, your home page should talk about how you help them, not all about you. Okay, your second page can be about you. People want to see, you know, what's your experience? What have you been doing? Do you have corporate background? You know, so your second page can be all about you. That's fine. But your third page should be a contact page. How do they get a hold of you? How do they reach out to you? Okay. Very, very, very important. You can have lots more pages, no problem. You can have an e-commerce enabled website if you want. You can have all those things, but you should have a basic website with those 3 things. Now, once you build your website, have some people look at it, right? Back to market research. Have your friends look at it. Have your family look at it. Have Donna Thompson, who is the typo queen, look at it, and she'll help you find typos. Have other people look at it and make sure, you don't have to do the suggestions that they give you, but it will get you thinking. Is this working? Is that working? Should I tweak this? Should I tweak that? So have some other people look at it. Look at your competition. I'm a big proponent of borrowing. What's your competition doing that's working? Look at their website. What are they talking about? And what do you not like about your competition's website? Don't do that. Okay, so you really do need a decent website. And again, if you can't do it yourself, ask for help. Direct mail, righty? I don't know about you guys, but email's out of control. Email's totally out of control. I can't find the email I'm looking for. No how, no way. I have to call somebody else and have them resend it to me. So much email. Okay? But my mailbox, with the exception of 1 or 2 bills, is pretty empty. So direct mail is a great thing to be doing now. Postage is going to be your biggest expense for direct mail. Everybody thinks it's printing. It isn't. It's the postage. But you can target your audience. You don't have to send out thousands or millions of mail pieces. You could send out just a few. What I used to do is I would get together a database of people I wanted to market to, potential customers, and I'd put together a little package for them. I'd put a little pen in there that had the name of my company on it, maybe a pad in there, some other little trinkets. I'd put in a letter, a flyer, and my business card. I would do 3, 4, or 5 of these a week and follow up with a phone call. That's all. That's not expensive, and it's pretty easy to do. And if you can't do 3, 4, or 5 a week, do 1. Okay? You can do a postcard. You can send them letters, right? Again, back, you have to have the database though. You have to figure out who you want to target market to. You can send a nice letter. That's always appreciated. Oh, and what you can also do is get some note card and send a little personal handwritten note. I used to do that, especially after I got a great order from a customer. And I would go to their office after time, and I would see they had my note, my handwritten note that I'd sent them after they'd placed their order, hanging up in their office. People love it. They appreciate it. They look at you differently when you do that. It's a real personal touch. Super inexpensive, super easy to do. Again, anybody who needs note cards here can talk to Bhavan. I'm sure she can help you. That's the last plug for you, Bhavan. Okay, networking. This is my favorite. Okay, get up and get out. If you're sitting at your desk all day long, looking through paperwork, responding to emails, you are not marketing your business. Get up and get out. You need to be working on your business, not in your business, right? And bear in mind, it's not only who you meet, but it's all the people they know. So all these boxes on your screen ahead of you, it's not just those people you're talking to. It's all the people that they know, right? I like to say that I met a coach through Najabo, and coaches don't do a lot of printing. Maybe they do business cards. But we got friendly. We built the relationship, right? Got to know each other. And over time, she introduced me to her daughter-in-law, who managed 5 medical offices. She was the office manager. And she bought a lot of printing, okay? So it's not just these little boxes in front of you. It's not just the people you meet at the networking events. It's everybody they know. But none of this works if you don't build the relationship. You have to build the relationship, right? So often I hear somebody say, well, I had coffee with that person and gee, I didn't get any business out of it. You're not going to. You haven't built the relationship. A great way to build relationships is to get involved, right? Step up, whether it's your Chamber of Commerce or Najabo, step up, get on a committee, make a few phone calls, reach out to people. That's a great way to grow your business. And I have to tell you, it's the #1 way that I grew my business, through networking. So you know what they say, just do it. Now the budget, another scary word. Ooh, the budget. Ooh. Well, it's not scary, it's about planning. Budgets don't have to be big, they can be small. Just put aside some dollars, okay? Consider what you can afford. I used 4% as sort of a guideline. 4% of my sales should be what I was spending on my budget, my marketing budget. But it can be less, it could be more, it depends upon what you want to do. But put something aside. You really do have to spend some money to make some money. And you can keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Okay, now some tips for you guys, okay? Find your target market. We talked about that a little bit, right? Who should I promote to? When I first bought my printing business, I felt that everybody who was breathing was my target market. You're a customer, you're breathing, you're my customer. Well, that is so not true. It's an important lesson to learn right away. Not everyone's going to be your customer. It's okay. In fact, it's good, okay? See brand positioning, slide above. Figure out who you want to promote to, what you want to do, and focus, laser-like on that, okay? There are a lot of people that I know who run several businesses, and that's great. They do it, and they do it successfully. But for me, I needed to focus on one thing at a time. It was too much for me involved in too many different things. Again, the market research piece is very helpful here. Talk to other people, see what they say, and talk to your customers, especially your customers. You should be reaching out to your customers anyway and talking to them on a regular basis. You shouldn't just be talking to them after you deliver an order or a service. You should be talking to them throughout the year, saying hi. Build that relationship. Target market, super important to grow your business. I always used to think, wouldn't it be great if I woke up tomorrow and made $1 million? But it doesn't really work that way. Small steps, lots and lots of small steps equal continuous growth. Keep it going, one step at a time, one step at a time. Keep it simple. People get overwhelmed with so much stuff. Just keep it simple. Can't do it all yourself? Get help. Okay? Keep a to-do list. I love this one. It makes me feel so good when at the end of the day, I can check 2 or 3 things off. Of course, I've added 5 or 6, but at least I've checked a couple of off, and I can see progress that way. Simple to-do list. Okay? what's important, not what's critical, okay? Critical is what's on fire. The machine doesn't work, the color's not right, they used the wrong paper, the staff didn't show up. Oh my, this goes on all day long. And if you focus just on the fires, then you're not focusing on what's important. You have to work on your business every day. Put aside an hour, put it on your calendar, block it out to work on your business, whatever you decide that might be, okay? But you need to be working on your business. Tip number 3, pricing. So pricing is such a huge topic. I encourage everybody to attend our May 6th pricing program. But for now, don't underestimate yourself. That's probably the #1 mistake that we, especially as women business owners, make. We underprice. Don't do it. So I have a story to tell. It's a Picasso story. Some of you have heard this before, okay? I love this story. So a woman is walking her dog in the park in France, and she runs into Picasso. And she says to Picasso, "Oh, Picasso, will you draw my dog?" He says, "Of course, I'd be happy to." Takes out a piece of paper, zoop, zoop, zoop. A minute later, there's a picture of the dog. Rips it off, gives it to the woman. He says, "That'll be $1 million." She says, $1 million? It took you a minute. And she said, and he says to her, "No, my dear, it took a lifetime." Right? So don't underestimate yourself. You're bringing everything to the party with you, all your experience, all your expertise, okay? You get what you pay for. Sometimes people use interns for things, right? And that's great if it's something that doesn't require a lot of expertise. Interns are great at social media. They can build your database for you, but would you hire an intern to do brain surgery? I don't think so. If it's something that's a little more sophisticated, you really need to hire an expert, somebody who has experience to help you with it. And you need to make sure you're factoring in all your costs, right? There's time involved. You're on the phone with them. You're prepping for meetings with them. You have overhead, you have electric, you have office space, you have all kinds of stuff that all needs to get factored in and get paid for. So it's not just the hour you spent doing the service. It's everything that goes into that. Keep all of that stuff in mind. And this is a great segue from pricing, okay? You need to manage your customer or they're gonna manage you. That's a bad scenario, right? So you talk about pricing. You get customers who will nickel and dime you all day long. They don't wanna pay that, they can't afford that, I don't wanna do that, please, please, less, right? These people are going to be your worst customers. They're going to take the most time. They're going to want everything for nothing, okay? You need to manage them, not let them manage you. Another thing that I learned pretty early on is I needed to fire certain customers. Don't be afraid to do it, okay? They're costing you money. Always bake in some extra time and perhaps a little cost. You're going to quote a job. You're going to give somebody an estimate. Make sure that you're building everything in there and give yourself a little bit of leeway, right? And don't be pressured, okay? Give them a date when it's going to be due and stick to that date, but give yourself a little bit of wiggle room on either side. Tell them Monday if you think it's going to be Tuesday, right? And don't be pressured. Don't let them say to you, "I have to have it Monday, I have to have it Monday, I have to have it Monday," if you can't give it to them Monday. Because all that'll happen is you won't deliver it. They're unhappy, you're unhappy. It's all going to be a bad thing. So don't let them pressure you into their time frame. You need to give them an honest, real time frame for yourself and when you can do something fairly. Give them specific parameters and outline the deliverables in writing if you can, okay? Very, very important. People come back all the time, "Oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I thought you were going to do this other thing. I'm not happy." If you have it in writing exactly what the deliverable is, then you have proof of what you promised, right? You don't want people to take advantage of you. Again, you need to manage the customer. And no surprises. If it's running over, you need to tell them, and you need to tell them right away. "Oh, that's not included in the deliverables that I quoted you, or that's not part of this project, or it's taking longer than I thought." But no surprises. Don't give them an invoice at the end of the project that's double. "Oh, well, it took longer than I thought." Nope. As soon as they're running over, you need to let them know. Okay. Now, again, here's the easy marketing plan. Okay, I have a marketing plan that I'm going to share with you. My name and email address and telephone number are in the chat. Please be sure to download the chat. And I'm happy to email whoever would like, just email me a copy of the Easy Marketing Plan that I'm going to share with you now. It's a great tool. Okay, it'll help you keep track of what you're doing. It's going to help you plan ahead. You can track what's worked and what hasn't, make little notations on the file so you can see, oh, I did that last year. This is what I did. Ah, okay. And you'll have historical information, right? You can compare year to year what you've done, and you can sort of see what's worked and what hasn't. So this is what I'm going to call my Easy Marketing Plan. So you can see on the top, all the way across the right, I have the months. And I've used this for years. It's been so great and so helpful. Okay? So every month on top, there's a column there for what it is I'm doing. And then on the left side are all my marketing tools. You can see the branding. You can see my website, because I may want to update it a couple times a year. You can see I do email blasts and blogs, and I track monthly what I'm doing and what the clicks are, what the percentage are. So I have a little bit of analysis right there. I do other kinds of social media, so I track that here. Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's LinkedIn work. Networking, I make sure that I have 2 or 3 meetings a month at least for my networking, and I can track exactly what I've done there. Telemarketing, I call that dialing for dollars. It's super effective, super useful. I have it separated out for prospecting. Let's see if I can scroll down a little bit. Okay, whoops. Oh, okay. As far down as I can go. I have it separated out for prospecting and for customers, because they're 2 totally different things. All righty. You're going to talk to a prospect very differently than you're going to talk to a customer. And I make sure that I dial for both. And you should be calling your customers, like I said before, every now and then, just to say hello, see how they're doing, see what's new. Okay. And again, anybody who emails me, I'm happy to send this Excel spreadsheet to them to help them manage. And it's a pretty easy marketing plan. Okay. And I think that's it for me. I thank everybody for their attention, and I hope this has been helpful.
Yes, it has. Excellent.
I think we have some time for questions if anybody has.
Holly, I have a question, and you've mentioned this, I think, in a previous virtual event. But with your team, when you're talking about priorities, there was a book that you recommended, so that you're not focusing on the urgent fires, but you're focusing on what matters most right now. So could you share? Do you recall what that book was? Something that you gave all of your employees?
Well, I certainly gave them the big bold book.
Mm-hmm.
Donna, it's in the background over Donna's right shoulder. That's a great book for everybody to read. It's got tips from Najabo members, and that's certainly really been a useful book for me. Other than that, I don't have one off the top of my head. I can think about it, Bertha, and get back to everybody.
All right,
Thank you.
Hey, Holly, I have a question. What do you think of EDDM cards?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, EDDM is every door direct mail, and it's a great way to get to your neighborhood. It's very, very cost effective, and you can use it in lots of different ways. So it's actually a flyer or a postcard that the mail person delivers to everybody in a specific zip code. So when he goes in to drop off the rest of your mail, boom, you get one of these flyers, you get one of these postcards. It's great. Like if you're a pizza place and you want to advertise to your local neighborhood, it's great for stuff like that. I used to do it when I owned my Minuteman, because it got word out to the whole neighborhood. So it's really good for neighborhood marketing, but it's really not targeted, right? So I talked about target marketing. It goes to everybody in the neighborhood, residents, businesses, doesn't matter. So it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, Carol Ann. And I'd also say that anybody who wants to talk marketing and may have an issue, wants to give me a buzz, again, my telephone number is right in the chat. Feel free, I'm happy to talk, with all you guys for a certain period of time. on whatever you might want to talk about.
Holly, this was
Thank you, Holly.
fantastic. Thank you. This is great. Thanks, Holly. I do have one question, especially on market research. That's very near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to ask you that. One of the things, I've been in data world for many years. One of the things we talk about is creating the database and also tracking the success of your marketing campaigns, right? So the analytics part is also a very critical part, I would envision. For example, direct mail. Now, direct mail, one of the challenges we have is how do you track the success of the direct mail? You know, and I'm thinking there are multiple ways we can do that using technology. We can use QR codes where you could track the hits. So what are some of the tips you could share with us so that, you know, we can make sure the direct mail is very important, but tracking is going to be extremely important so that customers can see the ROI.
That's such a good question, Ivana. Thank you.
Thanks.
I've always found tracking, and even in my corporate career where I had, you know, $1 million budgets, it's always really hard to track because people don't necessarily use the tracking mechanism, right? So maybe they use the QR code, maybe they don't. For those of you who don't know, QR code is one of those squiggly little boxes. What I used to do is things like I would offer, you know, $5 gift card, right? So $5 gift card to Starbucks. Call me up, here's your offer, order business cards and get a $5 gift card. And do you know how many gift cards I gave out? 0, not one. I think if you sent out an offer for free money, right? Contact me, get $5. Nobody would respond. People are so busy, they're so distracted. But that, you know, tracking is really important. I used to do it more because I knew, you know, when I was sending out packages individually, again, go back to target marketing, I knew who I was marketing to. So when I got a call a week later from, you know, person ABC, and I knew I had sent them something, I could sort of relate the two. Oftentimes people would say, oh, I got that thing, I got that flyer from you, and that's why I called you. But that's not especially analytical, it's more qualitative. But that was another way. And then of course you can always, especially for non-customers, it's a great idea to ask, how did you hear of me?
I always do that.
Right, how'd you hear about me? And sometimes people don't even remember, you know? So it's a challenge, you bring up a real challenge. It's very, very hard.
How about coupons? Can you track from coupons?
If people use them, yes, but people often don't. You know, there's this kind of marketing is just as much about advertising as it is getting a response. So you're also just trying to get your name out there and just have repeated viewing so people begin to recognize you. People often, you know, I meet people in the supermarket and they say, oh, I know you. And I know I don't know them. I don't know you. Okay, sorry, I don't know you. But they probably saw me speak at an event or you know, something on Facebook or social media. So, you know, I know that it works, even though I can't necessarily track it totally. But I know it's working because people come up to me and they think they know me and I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't know how you know me. I don't know you. So I know it's working, you know. Doing a presentation, one of the benefits of being an Ajabo member is that, you know, if you go through the process and you get selected, you have the opportunity to do a presentation to the group, much like I'm doing today. That's a great way to be seen and advertise your business. You can write an article for the bottom line is another way to advertise your business. There's lots of ways, but you have to get the word out there. And I think eventually it just comes if you do enough of it. It's a little bit of throwing spaghetti against the wall, I'm afraid.
You're right, Holly. It's all about the PR, because when you make the most of you as an expert in your field or what you're doing or what you're being recognized for, as you get the word out about that, it's not so much about promoting yourself. It's about letting people know, wow, I was featured in XYZ magazine, and you have a little post about it in all your social media, or you put it on your website, or someone does a news release for you, press release for you. Those things add up. And when you get those things, you really have to grab them and make the best of it. So if you did an article in the bottom line, or if you wrote a post for the blog, or you're doing a speaking engagement, everyone's going to get Holly's PDF of what she went through today after this event. And the video of this is going to be posted on our website. She can certainly share that information in all of her outlets, as can any member who does that. That's going to give you credibility as someone who has spoken. Wow, she's a speaker. She must know her stuff. So those are the kinds of things you have to start thinking about for yourself, because they can make a big difference. And that's a lot of what Najabo does for its members. We help you promote yourself in those ways, as long as you know what to do with those great, valuable marketing things after the fact.
All right. Well, I guess if we don't have any more questions, thanks for joining us today, and look forward to seeing everybody for the next South Jersey region event, which is, I don't know, Donna, if you can recall the date. I know you're the keeper of all such things, but do we have one in May? Here she goes.
Great presentation, Holly. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope everybody.
Yeah,
got
that
to
was
do that.
That
awesome.
was great,
was
Holly.
great.
Thank you.
So good. So much gold in there. Thanks,
All right.
Holly.
Yes,
18.
definitely. Thank you, Holly.
I love the marketing plan, Holly. I'm going to send you a note. I need that Excel.
So did
Thank
hear-
you all. Good to see you all. And look out for that email with Holly's presentation and a thank you from Donna. Take
Safe
care.
to chat.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Be
Be
well.
well.
Thank you.
Great to see everybody.
Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Holly.